everybody, welcome to a Monday night. It's a stream by the Crossroads on Sporking News Podcast, where we do chapter by chapter breakdown of A Song of Ice and Fire from George R.R. Martin. We are on a Clash of Kings right here, and we are doing, I wrote that we were doing 3 chapters, but the very first chapter we do is probably the biggest chapter. What would you guys say? Stig, what would you say? Biggest chapter in this book?
That would be the longest chapter. That's what it's called.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Davos. So let me first introduce everybody. Let's do that. I'm too excited. Everybody's here. So next to me, the lovely, the incredible, the growing channel and back from vacation, Jayne Theory.
Hello.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hello.
It's good to have you back, Jayne.
So happy to be back.
Oh, we're so happy to have you. Good vacation, though?
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Awesome. And who else do we have? We have the Rose herself, Miss Martin Muses.
Hey there.
Oh, all right. How was
like a rose?
Every rose has its copyright strike. Okay. But this was your first time reading the Dany chapter. What did you think?
As I said backstage, I'm not sure I knew what the hell happened at all.
That's awesome.
But it was fascinating as F and much better than, where's my dragon?
My dragons. I want my dragons back.
Exactly.
Thank you for being here. And the one true king, everybody. Stannis, Stig Kenobi, Baratheon.
Lord of Dragonstone, Master of Ships, King of Westeros. Lord of Storm Sand, King of the Andals, the Rhoynar, and the First Man. Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, Protector of the Realm. All who deny that are my foes. Let no man claim ignorance as a defense. They'll bend the knee or I'll destroy them. Isn't that right, Davos?
He's the king in the north. I forgot what we said I should change it to.
I'm starting to get the hang of it.
Yeah. But there's one part you missed that I love when you added in. The cold winds are gathering or something like that.
Yeah, time to hail to the king.
That one I just made up.
Oh, that's fantastic,
great, yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Maybe you should take over the writing.
The cold winds are rising, Davos. Time to hail to the king.
I hate the red lady.
I fucked the red lady and made a shadow baby.
Shadow babies, not one, but 2. Yeah. That's another story altogether. But tonight we have some awesome chapters for the people in the chat. And who do we have? We have Tina Bojan saying, good evening, friends. She is a channel member. I think it might have been my first. I finally did a channel member only stream. I did it right before the Saturday dump. So I might keep doing that because guess what? They're awesome and I've given them nothing. So thank you, channel members. I'm trying to give back. Kaylee D, one of the biggest supporters of this fandom. Thank you for being here. Joakim Stark is one of my members. That is awesome. Marby Dog, knowledgeable. Sonny Frank, one of my OG Song of Ice and Fire fans. We also have Shane Nolan, who we're going to get on here when we do did we say a theory? I think one of our theory streams, because Shane just always knows who I'm trying to talk about. He knows the knowledge of this stuff really well. So we're going to get Shane on here, and I'm excited for that. Who else do we have? We have Who Knew, another channel member. Hail, you beautiful people. We have Cody Guy, who is newer to the streams, but always showing up, and I really appreciate that. So thank you, Cody. We have the great Larry. There he is. This one's for Stig from Shane. Long may he reign. So you got that going.
Oh, it rhymes.
Yeah. We got Larry with a 199 super sticker. Thank you, sir. You are also a channel member with the number 1 sign. So I appreciate that. Time Prophet got his old butt out here, and he is here now. And Keely Chow saying the usual, hey, everybody. And what's going on? So we got some exciting stuff to talk about. Yes. All right. One, I believe you all picked a chapter, so I don't even have to read tonight, which is awesome. Yep. So we're going to be doing Dany, then we're doing Tyrion. So it's Dany 4, Tyrion 11, Theon for. Is there any thread going through them? Anything you guys picked up from these chapters? Did you get to reread these chapters, or is it, one of those type of things? I know, Teresa, it's your first time through. What did you get, not just with the Dany chapter, but the other two also?
Well, first of all, the common thread, according to you, is that we did them all. I never wanted to do Dany, but or Tyrion or Theon for that matter, actually. So, yeah,
It's hot. It's hot.
Well, the common, I think it's hard to find a common thread because the Dany chapter was so wild and out there and totally different from almost anything else we've seen so far. The Theon and the Tyrion, the continuing saga of what's moving forward with all of that. And a continuing thing of Clash of Kings is who knew Theon was such a douchebag?
Right.
Yeah.
And Wex. Yeah, I was about to say Wex is a secret target. Good to see you, man. He's always been a douchebag, right, Jayne?
Always, from his introduction.
But how unstable he is, maybe is the better answer. Better, right?
Yeah, not murdering and bullying and scaring and kidnapping and children in wheelchairs. Douche.
Usually if you're cocksure, Korma intervenes.
But you have a valid point. Like someone that, he was 9 years old when Eddard Stark, took him as a ward, as a hostage, really. And he is now 18 years old. So he's lived 9 years with his family on the Iron Islands, and 9 with the Starks, treated as good as any hostage, even as good as any ward would be. And we're seeing that weird conflict he has going on within him. But it was weird to me how quickly he flipped. I don't know about you guys. But yeah, he's a douche. He is a douche. I'll give you that. He is.
It's his identity, honestly.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
It's ingrained in him. And I don't know if it's a defensive mechanism, maybe because of how he grew up and the position he was in, that maybe that strengthened him in some way from a psychological standpoint. But it almost felt like, had he been born on the island, perhaps it would have been tempered a little bit by other people from his culture. But being where he was and being a step below the quote-unquote royal family, and just maybe a step above the bastard in the family, which I'm sure was also equally insulting because he was always there.
Right. Wow, I never thought of that.
It just made him very insecure, and that made him worse.
Right. I didn't, I've thought of it, but when you put it that way, I never really thought of, I always assumed they were so close together, but one is a, lord's son, a legitimate, heir to this lord and Westeros culture, and the other's a bastard, but you almost lump them together, right?
Yeah.
I never even thought of that. That's good. What about you, Stig? Anything other than, like Marby Dog saying daddy issues with Theon, which is huge. Daddy issues with his actual dad and Eddard Stark.
Yeah, I don't know. He's just, some kids are just shit. He's one of them.
He is. He is. He really is.
He's grade A. Yeah.
So we could get into it. Let me bring up what we use is Westeros.org, which is a wiki of Ice and Fire. And now that I can share things, I like to share it. So let me get that. This is I have the wrong chapter, I believe, up. Chapter 49. I got to let that stupid little thing run. But we can get this going whenever. Jayne, you are ready. I will mute and you can go for it. Take your time.
See. All right, let me get to it. 1 second. I had it just up right now. Okay.
Oh, no rush. Don't worry about it.
All right. So this is actually chapter 48, right, Dany?
Yeah, chapter 48, Dany. Okay. Yep.
Daenerys stands before the house of the Undying. Drogon hisses at the gray and ancient ruin, and most of her companions, Ser Jorah, Jogo, Aggo, and Zaro, tell her she should turn back. But she is resolute to enter the abode of the warlocks. Piet Pri steps out to her, saying that Daenerys must enter alone, or not at all. He leads her to the entrance, warning her to always take the door to her right and only take stairs leading up. On her way, she will see visions of the past, the future, and days that never were, and those that will speak to her from other rooms. But she must not enter any room and keep her path until she reaches the Undying's audience chamber. At the entrance, Daenerys drinks a glass of shade of the evening a dwarf gives to her to prepare her for the truths within. And then she enters. In the House of the Undying, she notices right away that she is in the presence of sorcery. Fortunately, she brought Drogon with her into the warlock's home. Daenerys sees a great many visions during her journey through the halls. And these are her visions. A beautiful naked woman sprawling on a floor with 4 little men with rat-like faces raping her. A feast of corpses. A room full of savagely slaughtered bodies, and many of the corpses have cups or spoons in their hands. Above them sits a dead man on a throne with the head of a wolf, wearing an iron crown and holding a leg of lamb like a king would hold a scepter. Old, dead, loyal Sir William Derry beckons her into the house with the red door and bravos. An old man with long silver hair sits on a barbed throne in a great hall with dragon skulls and says, "Let him be the king of ashes." A man who looks like Viserys, but taller and with darker eyes, who says to a woman nursing a baby, "Aegon." What better name for a king? He is the prince that was promised, and his is a song of ice and fire. And when the man's eyes meet Dany's, he says either to her or to the woman with the baby, "There must be one more. The dragon has 3 heads." And he picks up a silver harp and begins to play. A vision of Piet Pri telling her that the visit is over and to follow him into a garden. A great hall with several robed people claiming to be the Undying Karth, who tell her, "We sent the comet to show you the way to Karth. Shall we teach you the secret speech of dragonkind?" But it turns out to be sorcery. Finally, Daenerys comes upon a room with several figures that are no more than shadows, unbreathing, and over them floats a human heart, blue and corrupted. These are apparently the real Undying. The figures speak inside Dany's head. "We know the shape of shadows, morrows not yet made. Drink from the cup of ice, drink from the cup of fire. Mother of dragons, child of 3. 3 heads has the dragon, 3 fires must you light. 1 for life, and 1 for death, and 1 to love. 3 mounts must you ride, 1 to bed, and 1 to dread, and 1 to love. 3 treasons will you know, once for blood, and once for gold, and once for love. Daughter of death, slayer of lies, bride of fire." She now sees visions in her head floating faster and faster. Viserys dying, a tall lord with copper skin and silver hair bearing the banner of a fiery stallion. A dying prince with rubies flying from his armor, whispering the name of a woman with his last breath. A blue-eyed king with a red sword in his hand who casts no shadow. A clothed dragon amidst a cheering crowd. A great stone beast flying from a smoking tower, breathing shadow fire. Her silver horse given to her by Drogo at her wedding. A corpse at the prow of a ship, eyes bright in his dead face, smiling sadly. A blue flower growing from a chink in a wall of ice. Shadows dancing in a tent. A little girl running toward a house with a red door. Miri Mazdur shrieking in the flames as a dragon bursts from her. A corpse being dragged behind a silver horse. A white lion running through grass taller than a man. A line of naked crones emerging from a lake, kneeling before Daenerys, beneath the mother of mountains. 10,000 slaves crying mother as Daenerys rides by on her silver. At this point, the visions turn into a nightmare as the Undying try to consume Dany, and she's helpless to stop them until Drogon starts to tear the corrupted heart to pieces. Fleeing from the burning house of the Undying, Piet-Pri attacks her with a dagger, but Drogon interrupts him long enough for Daenerys to hear Drogo's whip crack. And then she is in the arms of Ser Jorah.
Woo! That deserves a dun dun
Dun.
dun. Thank you.
Also, there's no way we can talk about this without spoiling.
Yeah, guys, if this is your first time through, we are going to do the best we can, but there may be some of, maybe not like end game spoiling, but spoiling for things maybe we found out. We'll try not, but it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. I would like Teresa to go first because, like you said, crazy. What did you think?
Well, yeah. There seemed to be like a lot of prophecies that I wasn't sure about. Like the one that she's gonna ride and her lover. Is it supposed to be like past, present, and future? Was it referring to her first husband?
Mm-hmm.
Is it referring to something in the future? From what I know of the TV show, the whole thing, things went to hell in a handbasket after they all started calling her mother, like that became a big mess. And I think that in the books that it's going to be similar, though play out differently.
Right.
So it's like it's telling the future. And I got a little geeky when they actually used the word Song of Ice and Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole idea of drinking from the cup of ice and drinking from the cup of fire, drinking from the cup in myriad religions and ancient rituals and all sorts of things has a very serious connotation. It's not like just that you're drinking, you're actually becoming what you're drinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Consuming even a god, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly. And it actually transforms you into what you're drinking. Like, you are what you drink.
Right. Right.
Like someone being turned into a fire white by the wall.
Maybe.
Which is interesting that they mention a red sword too, and blue eyes.
I mean, there's so much that has been said.
I caught something though.
For the first time.
Yeah, the Rhaegar bit. When he's looking at a woman with a baby in bed, and he says one more, and the dragon will have 3 heads or something. That means they've had 2.
Right.
Twin birth. Lyanna had twins.
Oh.
Well, they already had 2. They had Rhaenys, is it? And Aegon.
Yeah, but I'm thinking if it's Lyanna, it can back up that she had twins.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and that the Anne Frank chick is actually the... I keep forgetting her name, but she played Anne Frank in a movie. I'm thinking of the girl that's supposed to look like Jon Snow.
Yeah, Mira Reed.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
but what if she had triplets?
Damn.
Well, she wouldn't be holding one of the babies if a third one was right on the way.
I mean, I don't think that's Lyanna.
Well, yeah. In any case, I think Lyanna's actually still alive. That's my opinion.
Right.
I think she's a certain septa with a C-section scar on her stomach.
Maybe. I might be with you on that. That's why there was so much blood. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, in the vision, that's not Lyanna. That is definitely Rhaegar's first wife. Oh God, from Dorne. What's her name again?
Elia
Martell. Thank you. But there's so much going on. So let's even start before they go into the House of the Undying. Okay, so Dany's. It's not like the show. In the show, the warlocks steal her dragons.
Yeah.
And she has to, I want my dragons,
Where are my dragons? A dingo stole my dragon. Oh, wait, right.
Dingo stole my dragon. That was awesome. But it's nothing like that. Right. Dun, dun, dun. It's nothing like that. She was invited. She goes. and I think she felt like I'm trying to remember exactly the lead up in my head because I was so focused on everything else. She decided to go visit the house, but it wasn't like she was forced to go there. She decided to go there. Is that correct? Am I right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. And I know, okay, so in the City of Splendor, Dany had expected the House of the Undying Ones to be the most splendid, but it's definitely not. So she's talking to people, blood of my blood. This is an evil place. This is Jago. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. An evil place, a haunt of ghosts and mages. See how it drinks the morning sun. Let us go before it drinks us as well. And Sir Jorah agrees with that. And Zero Zahan Doxo says, heed the wisdom of these who love you best. Warlocks are bitter creatures who eat dust, drink of shadows. They will give you naught. They have naught to give. And everybody's telling her this. And where does Dany respond? Some places even Khals must walk alone, because they want to go with her. Why is she so determined? Does she really truly believe she's getting answers? I think that's that must be it. Everyone's telling her this is the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
Oh, little side note.
Yeah, please.
I found a weird Easter egg.
Okay.
Oh.
In The Hobbit,
mm-hmm.
when if you read the books, ravens tell the dwarves that Smaug is dead, and as soon as they say dead, the dwarves repeat dead, dead. Which is what happens with the raven at Castle Black. They say, Benjen and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
Dead, dead.
Says it 2 to 3 times, right?
Yeah. So if the dwarves are the ones repeating dead, dead in The Hobbit, could be that the raven is, the children of the forest are speaking through the raven.
I don't doubt it, dude.
The
more and more we notice it, the more and more I agree.
Yeah, I was just, that looks like Game of Thrones,
Right. Where did I want to read when she finally what I find crazy is they let her go in with her dragon. Is that what do you think their ultimate goal was?
I think their goal was to get the dragon.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. One dragon, because 3 might have been too tough, even though they're smaller. So their goal was to feed their magic off of Drogon for, centuries to come. Is that what you guys think too?
I think so.
Okay.
Because ultimately that's what it's the ultimate power. And it is clearly a source of magic.
Right.
Or at least something that enhances magic.
Right.
So
Definitely.
Yeah, they seem pretty desperate to get it.
Right. And
what kind of magic do the warlocks do?
Ooh, interesting.
Well, that's a really good question because we were told it was petty stuff until the dragons came back. Is it blood magic? Is it? Yeah. What type of magic is it?
Yeah, because if it's prophecy stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means maybe people with dragon blood,
right,
have the ability to do some prophecy.
Well,
they start to feed off of her at some point.
Right, the Undying do. The Undying ones. So, there's 2 different classes, I think. You have the Undying ones, and then you have the Warlocks that seem to either, those are their, higher-ups, the Undying ones, and they're, they all, bow to them. So the Undying ones need some type of nourishment. And is it Drogon? Is it her? That's a good question.
See, I thought that I kind of felt like that they weren't 2 different entities. I could be wrong about that, but that they were in 2 different bodies, or they were able to present themselves
2 different ways.
Different ways, yeah.
Yeah, no, they're definitely separate because later on, think about the Forsaken chapter that George released. Those aren't the same ones that were, the Undying. They're definitely a separate class. I think the Undying is what they maybe strive to become. You know, no matter how they look or what they need. And I think, you know, bringing Dany and this dragon, you know, might give them all the opportunity because their power is getting stronger every day that the dragons get bigger, you know?
Okay.
That's
Do you
a good
think
question.
the naked woman that's being ravished by 4 little men, do you think that might be foreshadowing something that might happen to Mira, the children of the forest?
So, and this isn't a spoiler unless you haven't really read anybody's, any of like the theories out there, but a lot of people believe it is the woman's Westeros and the 4 little men are either the, you know, some of the kings, because don't forget one of the 5 kings is dead that was fighting, so 4 are left. You know, they believe that that's what that represents, but you know, we don't know what it represents because George hasn't written it out for us. So it could be anything, you know.
Well,
so what do you mean by mirror?
None of the kings are dead yet.
Yeah.
So
Renly.
one.
Renly's dead.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. Renly's
Yeah.
dead.
So the
And
5
it would
kings are dead
also,
before.
it would kind of mirror a little bit how the Bible or Revelations describes things, with Babylon, right, being depicted as a woman in a vision.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The harlot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. That is Stig. Just get used to it. Stig is when he thinks
Shit.
he munches.
Fucking microphone picks up everything.
Oh. I thought I just got done saying the harlot, and you said, "Oh, that would be Stig," and I'm like, "Oh, okay,
God,
why not?"
Wait a minute. I'm sorry, Stig. I never told anybody this. No.
I never charge for anything.
Yeah, he's just slutty. Yeah, Jayne is professional. Absolutely. So is Teresa. I'm not. Far from it. Shane Nolan says warlocks means witchcraft. It's the masculine of witchcraft. So it is a witchcraft, but what element? Blood, or is it, you know, because like everything seems to be based on something here. You have your blood. I think almost everything is a form of blood magic in this world, but you have ice, you have fire, you know. I'm wondering if we see the other elements.
Doesn't Euron have a warlock that has him paint the deck of his blood with blood? That's a deck of his ship with blood.
He has quite a few actually, and that's something we'll talk about. Yeah, very good point. Very good point. But yeah, the exact magic they use, I want to say everything is blood magic. Do you guys agree? Like some form of blood magic. There's nothing that ever seems to be sweet. Yes, I am. Thank you, Parrot Head.
So you're thinking that she's the blood sacrifice?
Either, yeah, like to maybe feed off of Drogon, they need to sacrifice her. You know, I don't know, because who do they listen to? Who do the dragons listen to? Their mother. You know. But it's interesting them just like everybody, Jorah, Jago, Ago, Zara, they're all warning her not to freaking go in. And you know, this shows a lot of Dany's resolve. Like she's like, no, you know, like I need to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's something driving her to do it as well.
Yeah.
It's not maybe entirely her own desire, but maybe something that's being imparted to her.
Do you think maybe, because she keeps bringing up...
she seems almost obsessed.
Right. You know, and you had Mira Mazdul, who there was magic done, Dany feels like, to her, that like took her family from her. Is she obsessed with knowledge and, you know, magic? Because, I mean, this is like, you're going to learn things. They're going to be visions of the future. You know, he says it, future, past, present. So, you know, is she obsessed with knowledge?
She needs answers.
Yeah. Yep. It's pretty interesting. This is such a good chapter. You know, Pirate, I like, you know, like Dany is just, she's what, 13? Piet Preet smiles thinly. The child speaks as sagely as a crone. Take my arm and let me lead you. So after kissing her ass, puts out his arm and she's like, I am no child. Dany took his arm nonetheless. Like, I know what you're doing, but, I'm going to put you on Front Street, but I'll still take your arm. Like, I love that. But let's get into it. Okay, so what do you guys also think of, Pirate, I keep calling him Pirate. So they enter, and Pirate Preet says, gives her the directions of which way to go.
Right.
Never, always take the door on the right, never take stairs going down, never enter a room, even though you may hear something that makes you want to enter those rooms. Like, I know everybody sees different things in this place. She just took Shade of the Evening from a dwarf that kind of resembles like those rat-like ones, but why do you think it's that way? Is that, because Shade of the Evening itself is a hallucinogenic. What is the whole certain directions going? Is she never going to get out going that way, or will she definitely reach the middle where the Undying is? Like, what do you guys think?
I agree with you. I think it's purely to get her to a particular place. If she went in any other direction, would it have been fatal? I doubt it.
Right.
She just would have seen other things that maybe they don't want her to see, or ended up in a place where they didn't want her to go. But I do think, based on where she did end up, that it was just directional.
Right. Toba Moss, what's up, brother, says Shade of the Evening is very, very, I'll enhance that, very, very similar to Jojen Paste. Just not in color, you got one that's dark, thick, viscous looking black ooze, and the other one is like a white, thick, viscous, completely different colors, but, kind of has the same thing going on. Now, you enter the Undying, and now she's off, Teresa. So the first thing you see is a beautiful naked woman sprawling on a floor with 4 little men with rat-like faces raping her.
Yeah, that was an incredibly disturbing image.
Go. I want to read exactly how they put it. In one room, a beautiful woman sprawled naked on the floor while 4 little men crawled over her. They had rattish pointed faces and tiny pink hands, like the servitor who had brought her the glass of shade. One was pumping between her thighs, another savaged her breasts, worrying at the nipples with his wet red mouth, tearing and chewing. Farther on, she came upon a feast of corpses. So they only point out 2 of the 4 and what they're doing. So if we what did you get from that? Did you take it as it's Westeros, or did you even know what to think, Teresa?
I honestly didn't know, because that's what made this chapter so difficult for me, because I don't really feel like I had a frame of reference, because it was so symbolic, except for because of what I saw on the TV show. I figured that those were the children of the forest.
Okay.
But maybe not, because, TV show could have just effed everything up. Well, it did.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean.
The children of the forest are definitely, they're not rat-like. They're more camouflaged and cat-like. Their eyes are big and yellow and slit. So a little bit different. You're absolutely, that was
Isn't it symbolism, though? I mean, that 2 out of the 4 rats, which we can assume are the kings, right? 2 out of them are raping the woman, right?
Right.
One is sucking at the tit, which is milking the kingdom, basically.
Yep.
Which would be Joffrey.
Yep.
The one who's actually raping and pillaging is Balon.
Right. Exactly.
Stannis and Robb Snow aren't doing any of that.
Right.
Yeah. So what part would they be?
I don't
Well,
know.
they never tell us, right?
I don't know.
They're watching, maybe, into the voyeurism type thing. Yeah. They never tell us what the other 2 are doing. But it does say, it says the 4 little men crawled all over her. So yes, Robb and Stannis aren't saints, but unlike, like you just said, Stig, unlike the other 2, You know, they might be crawling over Westeros, but they're not downright raping Westeros.
Yeah, they're not in it for their own gratification.
Yeah, good. Yes, they actually, in their own way, love Westeros. So they wouldn't be raping; they would be making love.
Right. What do you guys think? What Shane's saying here? They don't say. Oh, I'm sorry, Shane. They don't say ravish. They say savaged. Another savaged her breasts, working at the nipples with his wet red mouth, tearing and chewing. And don't forget, I don't want to spoil anything, but Joffrey later on at his own, feast, what happens with him?
Yeah.
That wet red. Oh, well, you saw the show. Spoilers, people. At his wedding, the red wet mouth is something that actually happens to Joffrey. We'll put it as simple as that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
And then what do you think, Jayne? Is it Westeros?
I think it is. Because of the parallels with the religious stuff, I think it's the country.
Yeah. Okay, so this rat face thing, I thought it might be one family too when I first read it, but I don't think
all of them. Yeah. All of the different kings and who are trying to basically or kingdoms,
right?
Destroying this country.
Yep. I'm with you on that.
And they're, rats always have that sort of you sometimes see them symbolically representing corruption, right? Like they represent corrupt kings or leaders or wealthy people or wealthy class. And so all of that sort of together made me think of it as the rich destroying the country.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. Okay, let's I'm going to read I'm kind of going just chapter with this. So farther on, she came upon a feast of corpses, savagely slaughtered. The fetters lay strewn across overturned chairs and hacked trestle tables, a sprawl and pool of congealing blood. Some had lost limbs, even heads. Several hands clutched bloody cups, wooden spoons, roast fowl, heels of bread. In a throne above them sat a dead man with a head of a wolf. He wore an iron crown and held a leg of lamb in one hand, as a king might hold a scepter, and his eyes followed Dany with mute appeal.
Now that's a red wedding.
Does everybody agree on that?
I guess.
Because
they did stitch the wolf head onto Robb.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I always believed it was the red wedding until reading it this time. I almost got a little different take on it. I still think it's 99% sure it's the red wedding. But they say, the thing is like, okay, semantics maybe, but there was no lamb. Robb didn't have lamb. They didn't have wooden spoons. Like I was wondering if this is another bloody, another wolf king who actually isn't the one getting injured, but injuring everybody else. So a body with a wolf head, somebody, I don't know, that can't move. So he's sitting on his throne, but he's more aggressive. He's more wolf-like than man-like. And now, as he keeps jumping into his dire wolf, I almost thought it was like Bran taking the kingship.
Or Rickon.
Yeah, that too. Could be.
Oh, little.
Because he's very feral.
Right.
And he's on Cannibal Island at the moment.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, he's always... Yeah, almost from the very minute that Catelyn left, he became a little animal.
Now, I know it does say he, in a throne above, sat a dead man with the head of a wolf. But I almost feel like, the eyes are following her. So is the wolf part of the man dead? Like,
no, the man part is dead.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So I think, Jayne, you were about to hit it. Go right ahead.
I agree. It's making more sense that it could be Rickon. Yep. And you could see him doing exactly this.
Right. Or even Bran, the body's dead. the body is dead. He's crippled. The body's dead, but the mind is in the wolf. Like, you know, it could be one or the other. I lean towards Bran just getting feral more than Rickon, but I could definitely see Rickon too.
I would say Rickon more so because he's a baby.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And
right.
all he knows is being a wolf at this point.
Right, and we've seen that him and his wolf are feral. People have said that. What up, Jacob? Yeah, so that's actually a very good point. I like what Shane says. Lamb is the food of human sacrifice, like Jesus, the Lamb of God. You know, and that's true. You know, lamb is even in pagan rituals, a lamb is a sacrificial animal. You know, so
wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Well, yeah, and that was the whole thing in the Old Testament for the Passover, which, well, you know, was also a place, a mirror with the Eucharist.
Right.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I could say is what got me too is that it could be any of the living male Starks. And his eyes followed Dany with mute appeal, and who's mute but Ghost.
Ooh.
So, like, I don't know.
And Ghost Ghost can be interchangeable with Jon.
That's what I'm saying. So, could it be actually it's Jon? The only reason I lean more towards Bran is that the man's body is dead. So, but also, wait a minute, Jon's, but think about that. The body is dead, but the wolf is alive and it's quiet.
Oh,
it's mute. Oh shit.
Or maybe. Well, it's a man. Is it a man or a human, though?
Oh. Well, wow.
It's a king,
right,
isn't it?
Right,
So,
it's a king.
yeah.
So, in the throne above them sat a dead man with the head of a wolf. So the body is dead, but the wolf, you know, at first you don't think the wolf is alive too, but he wore a iron crown, and somebody has the iron crown right now.
Iron crown is definitely Stark stuff.
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
I just had
and who has it? Think about
had a little idea though.
Yeah.
What if it's Benjen and Benjen is dead and he keep warging into Ghost now and again?
Do you think they could share like that?
I don't know.
Could he be a king? Could he be a king wherever he is?
Well, they are kind of close, even though it's in Westeros. They're one of the closest things to wirelings, but a boy that can control a direwolf, they might respect that. The nerd po real life form says, do you think Rickon will die like like in the show? He's only 5, I believe he's maybe 4 by wins, maybe 5 at Sporking News Podcast. The only thing, a lot of people keep talking about a shaggy dog story, which is, it means it's very convoluted. It goes all over the place, but in the end it means nothing. I don't know if that's really going to happen to Rickon. If he does, I hope he goes out in a blaze of glory and not running from an arrow like a tool bag.
I don't think anyone after season 4 that died on the show is gonna die like that in the books.
Right, absolutely.
It's pretty much pure fan fiction.
Right. Will Rickon make it out alive though?
I think he will. I absolutely believe it. Yeah.
You need more.
I don't think he's
going to
be human anymore. I think he's going to go full wolf.
He could.
I think he will, and I think Arya will.
Yeah, I definitely believe Arya will. And like I said, like the more I read this part of the prophecy or her visions, it sounds like Jon at the end of, you know, maybe in the Winds of Winter, because think about it. What happens with Robb? Where's Robb's will? The body's dead. The wolf head is watching Dany, but it's mute. I don't know, man. That's crazy. And there is somebody who has that iron, the Iron Crown. She doesn't like to talk much. She more gargles. Okay.
Oh no.
We'll go on to the next. Let's see what other people say. Mafia always leaves horses' heads. Yeah. The Godfather. Love that movie.
Oh yeah.
It's pronounced Nerdrotic. Did I say that right? Right? Nerdrotic. Get it?
Nerdrotic.
Nerdrotic. Is that how? Okay.
Like incorporeal.
I don't even know. Rickon is stroking his unicorn. He could be. I mean, if I was his age, I'd want a unicorn, and they are there. Right? Let's see. Shane says he could come leading a host of Skago C Shaggy Dog story never made sense, and it's the dog, not him. Right. Yeah, like everybody, like one person found out what Shaggy's dog story meant, and everyone just assumed that Rickon's story means nothing now. And can you guys imagine none of the Starks left? Like, I can't imagine not one living through the whole thing.
Yeah, that wouldn't make any...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's going to be a Stark at the end.
Mm-hmm. Has to be. Right?
If not, I'm going to be really, really upset.
Hell yeah. What do you guys think in the chat? Will there... One, if you think the Stark line ends, two, if they live, and who lives? I'd like to know. All right, so we got through that. She fled from him. So that's another thing. She fled from him. So that really made her feel uncomfortable. But only as far as the next open door. I know this room, she thought. She remembered those great wooden beams and the carved animal faces that adorned them. And there outside the window, a lemon tree, which always is something important. The sight of it made her heart ache with longing. It is the house with the red door, the house in Bravos. No sooner had she thought it than old Sir William came into the room, leaning heavily on his stick. Little princess, there you are, he said in his gruff, kind voice. Come, he said. Come to me, my lady. You're home now. You're safe now. His big, wrinkled hand reached for her, soft as old leather, and Dany wanted to take it and hold it and kiss it. She wanted that as much as she had ever wanted anything. Her foot edged forward, and then she thought, he's dead. He's dead. A sweet old bear. He died a long time ago. She backed away and ran. So that was like the first room where I think they tried using her memories and something lovely to keep her there.
Yeah.
You know?
Actually, that's probably spot on.
Right.
I think Arya, though, might find out something about that red door. Or she might see it.
I don't think it's in Bravos. Do you got Jane? Do you think it's in Bravos?
Thanks to Preston, no.
Yeah, right.
I don't. I don't know. I think it may be in Dorne.
Well, okay. So I always questioned it. Isn't it until the Mercy? Okay, guys, I'm sorry, but spoilers for.
Go ahead.
This is for a Wind to Winter sample chapter, but it's the Mercy chapter, and in the Mercy chapter, you get two Lannister guards talking about one. They're in Bravos, and one's like, "Where's all the fruit trees, the oranges, the lemon, blah blah?" And they're like, "They don't grow here." They made sure, and the only place in people's defense is, well, in Bravos they can grow in greenhouses. Dany never said, I looked out my window and through the greenhouse I saw, it's outside her window. It's a lemon tree. You know what I mean? So no way it's Bravos. It has to be somewhere else. That's at least what I think.
Yeah, I think it's, I think you're right.
Yeah. Thank you. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's Dorne though, but it's definitely either the Reach or Dorne or something like that.
It's where else have we seen plentiful fruit?
Right.
And things like that.
Well, yeah. The Reach is the breadbasket.
Yeah.
And we see a lot of fruit in Dorne chapters when they're at the water gardens. Fruit is falling and bursting, and it's citrus fruit. So that's the one time you really see fruit growing.
Yeah, that's a southern thing too.
Right. Right.
Well, it could be somewhere on Easteros as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be.
It doesn't have to be. It could be the Summer Isles or whatever.
Right.
We don't know.
But if you look at this, the Vale of Arryn is. It's hard. I can't show you guys, but look, up to the right center, the Vale of Arryn, and across from that, I want to say is Bravos, right? I might be wrong. I'll find a better map and we'll take a look at it. I could actually just look at the one behind me. Yes, Bravos is at the tip. So if you look at right, all the way to the right, Essos, at the very tip is Bravos. Now, if you go all the way south, in Westeros, which is the center one, all the way south is Dorne. You're telling me that north, which is pretty darn close to where the north begins, where the neck is, you're telling me orange and citrus grow there. I can't think it's that. It's either it's either in Dorne or like outside of Old Town or somewhere down there.
Yeah, Bravos is actually pretty far north, and they do say that actually they don't even have wood on Bravos. They have to import it.
Right.
Because I'm listening to the audiobook right now, and they made a point out of that.
Really, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, so if they struggle with getting wood, then they wouldn't have lemon trees.
Right. And totally going not off subject completely, but totally off subject. I've lived in this house. This is going on my 4th summer here, my 4th year in July, and we have a tree outside my kitchen window, and it was a decent size. Now it's really big. And this was the first year. It always flowers, but this is the first year it bared fruit, and it's a freaking cherry tree.
Oh.
Yeah. I got a cherry tree.
Make sure George Washington stays away from it.
Yeah. Well, you can't trust those old ists. You know what I mean? Anyways, we'll move on. So I don't know. They tried to make her feel safe, but she realized, I'm out. All right. So then the long hallway went on and on and on with endless doors. To her left, she's not supposed to go there, and only torches to her right. She ran past more doors, and she could count. This place is huge. Closed doors and open doors. All these doors of wood and doors of iron, carved doors and plain ones. Doors with pulls and doors with locks and doors with knockers. Drogon lashed against her back, urging her on, and Dany ran until she couldn't run anymore. Finally, a great pair of bronze doors appeared to her left, grander than the rest. They swung open as she neared, and she had to stop and look. Beyond loomed a cavernous stone hall, the largest she had ever seen. The skulls of dead dragons looked down from its walls, and upon a towering barbed throne sat an old man in rich robes, an old man with dark eyes and long silver gray hair. Let him be the king over charred bones and cooked meat. So I'm not going to read that whole part, but we know this is her father, right?
Yeah, this is Ares.
This is Ares, yeah. And this is the sack of King's Landing, and he's talking about Robert. Let him be the, burn it all. Let him be the king of ash. Drogon shrieked, and his claws dug through silken skin, but the king on his throne never heard, and Dany moved on. So, let him be king of ash. And it was so like, just hearing this guy say that, the dragon reacts with like some type of, visceral reaction.
Maybe there's some truth to, the fact that someone was controlling Ares, though, the great other, or, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And Drogon can smell it on him.
Well, don't forget, they say an old man with dark eyes. Now, most of the Valyrians have, if it's dark, it's still purple, and she would have pointed that out. They just say dark eyes. So maybe it is something like he's being, possessed in a way, controlled through his mind. I don't know. So wouldn't they be naturalized by decree? I don't know what he's talking about there. I still hate the final.
He's talking about the Starks. You remember when their line was about to die out and it passed through a female?
Yes. Oh, the she-wolves.
Right.
Yes. And they talk about that in the history books. Like there's been times where the Lord only had daughters, and the eldest daughter married, and that guy took the Lord's name, his wife's name. So that's one of those things. Orville Nation, you always do this, man. Thank you so much. And I'm not complaining. Orville Nation for $5. Thanks, Scotty, and everyone who supported and retweeted Bird O' Prey campaign. Any money that trickles in now will be used for Mom O' Prey to get a day off. That's awesome, dude. So you guys hit your goal. And the goal was to get him wheels, right? So he could be mobile. Let me know. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yay!
Bird of Prey's a nice dude. He's always been friendly to me.
Yeah. And just because it's met the goal, from what I understand, you can still keep donating. Yeah. This particular thing kind of moved me a little bit because we don't think all the time about the fact that, especially if you're a big guy, like 6'6" or something that he is, he's very tall and big and hasn't been able to be mobile, that they don't make wheelchairs for that size. They make wheelchairs for 5 foot size.
Right.
And it's like, listen,
they're very generic, aren't they?
Yeah. And it's like, I get annoyed sometimes, like when I'm on an airplane and there's a dude that's 7 foot tall and hanging over my seat. But on the other hand, it's not the dude's fault. But if you're actually having a disability and that you can't they won't get you a proper wheelchair. So that's my little plug for this, everybody. If you can, go ahead and donate.
Yeah. And, Orville PJ's one of the best dudes out there. Like I freaking love the guy. We became more friendly as the year, a couple years we've been on this. We started at the same time. He's crushing me because, he's awesome. But PJ, you are a moderator. Please share out the link to the GoFundMe if you can, and even share out a link to your, if you kept your stream so people could check it out after this. I really appreciate it, brother. And he agrees with you about the chairs. They're all like one size, but yeah, he said $5,000 for new wheelchair that will fit him. And that's awesome. Mm-hmm. Maybe we could get him like, something cool for it. Like, a cool horn, something cool like that.
Well, and also keeping in mind that might be the bare minimum, but you can always get a more upgraded model or something.
Yeah.
So.
We'll talk about a guy who's been going through a lot. As long as I've known Bird of Prey, been going through a lot health-wise, and he's always chipper and in a good mood when he's streaming. And PJ, reach out and let them know, like, I'm so happy he hit it. And you guys can share the link anytime to here, my Twitter, and I will share it too. And if I can this week, I will hopefully donate myself. But
you're gonna donate yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. And
hey, that's what I call dedication. That's a friend.
That is a friend. And the amazing Jayne Theory, you got to get going. I understand.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. We're going to probably not get on to the next chapters anyways. So.
Probably not. There's so much to talk about.
So much. Let them know where they can find you. I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off. Let them know where they can find you.
You can find me here on YouTube, where I post movie and television reviews and occasionally some pop culture commentary. You can also follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Jayne Theory.
All right. Are you by chance on with the ladies tonight?
I am on Toxic Femininity.
All right. Make sure to post. That starts when? In like
8
a half
Central
hour?
Standard Time.
8 Central. So in a half hour. We might be going for a little bit longer, but once you guys leave here, you could have a spork raid over there, as Makani would call it. So thank you, Jayne. I love you. Thank you so much for coming.
So much fun.
All right. See you soon.
Hey, bye.
Take care and be well.
Bye. All right. So on we go. We'll probably end up just doing this one because we are barely into it. Let's see. Let him be the chart. So now Dany moved on. Drogon shrieked, his claws dug into her, but the king on his throne never heard. So Viserys was her first thought the next time she paused, but a second glance told her otherwise. The man had her brother's hair, but he was taller, and his eyes were a dark indigo rather than lilac. Aegon, he said, to a woman nursing a newborn baby in a great wooden bed. What better name for a king? Will you make a song for him? The woman asked. He has a song, the man replied. He is the prince that was promised, and he is the song of ice and fire. He
ding, 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 ding.
Right there, right? Boom, boom.
Best part of the series was the music.
Absolute. Oh my God, so good. He was Prince Promise. It seemed he saw her as he stood there beyond the door. There must be one more, he said. though whether he was speaking to her or the woman in the bed, she could not say. The dragon has 3 heads. He went on to the window seat, picking up a harp, and ran his fingers lightly over its silvery strings. Sweet sadness filled the room as a man and wife and babe faded like that morning mist. Only the music lingered behind to speed her on her way. So, she first thinks it's Viserys. We know this is Rhaegar. I believe it's with Elia, but I could see why others might believe it's somebody else. What do you guys think? I know we touched on this.
I don't know. No, it's probably Elia.
Yeah.
But that kind of backs up the thing that there was a lot of people, almost like a little cult,
Yep.
that were all about the prince that was promised.
Right.
And and given the that it might be Jon Snow.
Mm-hmm.
This might be technically a satanic cult.
Oh,
Because of the Lightbringer meaning Lucifer.
Okay.
oh.
And Jon Snow being the 999th Lord Commander, which is 666 inverted.
Right.
Satanism is about inverting things.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking it might not be a nice thing that's going on.
Right. Right.
I'm sure they believe they're doing excellent stuff, but it could be really bad.
Well, what do we always say? They're the heroes of their own story.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
What's up, memes? Great guys, memes of destruction. Great channel. Really smart guy. Doesn't mind, going at it with you, which I always respect and I like. So don't stop. Like he always comes with the, what I like to call the, what is the word? He comes with the, not the devil. Jeez, what was I just about to say? The,
He plays devil's advocate.
oh my God, it is devil's advocate because he was talking about the devil. I thought I screwed myself up.
No.
All right. Yeah, go on. I'm such an idiot. Now Rhaegar. Rhaegar is, pretty much the first time we hear the prince that was promised. So that's the first mention of that, which is kind of neat. He was the prince that was promised.
And we're also told that the prince that was promised, his song is the Song of Ice and Fire.
Right.
Now, if this prince that was promised is a bad thing,
Right.
then the Song of Ice and Fire is a bad thing, which takes us back to Ragnarok.
Right.
Ooh.
I didn't even think about that. Now the Song of Ice and Fire, everyone's like, well, that means it's a, it's a mutual, calming thing between them. But it could just be a Song of Ice and Fire working in tandem. Like it doesn't have to be positive, correct?
No.
Okay.
No, a song is harmony, is Ice and Fire together.
Right.
Against something, and that's literally what Ragnarok is. It's Ice and Fire against the humans and the gods.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Go ahead.
Well, it can also be. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's literally what it is.
Okay. It's
nuts.
nuts.
Fire giants and frost giants and a huge winter and then the world being set aflame. That's Ragnarok.
Oh my God. What were you going to say, Teresa?
Oh, I was just going to get snobby and say also, well, you have harmony, but you can also have dissonance and you can have counterpoint. You can have a fugue and all of that as well.
Right.
With music. Yeah. With Ice and Fire. Yeah.
Right. And what Shane's talking about, Robert Frost poem, Ice and Fire, right? I think it's called Ice and Fire, which is about, would you rather have the world end in ice or end in fire? It's an interesting poem. And I think that people say that was something that George, contemplated when he was creating this story. I don't know. Pretty interesting. All right, let's see. So Rhaegar is talking to Elia, it's kind of cool because she's never seen her brother. So she has no clue who these people are. but he looks like Viserys, just taller and, and with darker eyes, which I always thought was kind of cool. But she goes on, it seems as she walked for another hour, ending in a steep stone stair descent into darkness. Every door open and closed has been to her left. Dany looked back behind her. The torches were going out. She realized with a start of fear, perhaps 20 still burned. So she's freaking out a little bit. She starts moving faster. Yet another torch went out. Drogon's long neck snaked out and opened his mouth to scream, steam rising from between his teeth. He hears it too. Dany turned to the blank wall once more, but there was nothing. Could there be a secret door, a door I can't see? Another torch went out. Another. The first door on the right, he said. Always the first door on the right. The first door on the... And it came to her suddenly. Is this the last door on the left? So, her using her mind, which I always found to be... I read all that because it's like... That's the first time Dany's like taking it into consideration. Like, wait a minute. If I'm not seeing any more right doors, is this telling me I should go another way? She's always thinking, and I don't think she gets enough credit because of the show. Like, she always just seems pissed off at the show, but she's a very intelligent girl.
Yeah. Perpetual PMS on the show.
Yes. Yes, definitely in the last few seasons. Right? Let's see. So
no, even earlier,
the
way that she was directed or acted,
Right. I would say because she acted great in the last season. It just wasn't a great, season. Let's just put it that way.
Best season ever.
Best season ever. Best show ending ever. She flung herself through. Beyond was another small room with 4 doors. To the right she went, and to the right, and to the right, and to the right, and to the right, and kept going until she was dizzy and out of breath once more. When she stopped, she found herself in yet another dark stone chamber. But this time the door opposite was round, shaped like an open mouth, and Pirate Preach stood outside in the grass beneath the tree. Can it be the Undying are done with you so soon? He asked in disbelief. So soon, she confessed. I was walking for hours. You have taken a wrong turn. Come, I will lead you. Dany hesitated. There was a door to her right, still closed. That's not the way. So, where is it? There's a part where, he's like, stubborn girl. No, to me, come to me. And Dany left him behind. Like she's ballsy, dude. She's ballsy. So we'll jump ahead a little bit. Let's see. Where did we leave off on this? An old man with long silver hair. Prince that was promised. A great hall with several robed people claiming to be the Undying. That's what I'm trying to get to in here. Okay. Finally, the stairs opened to her right. A set of what? Blah, blah, blah. Beyond the doors, a kingly man in rich robes rose when he saw her and smiled. Daenerys of House Targaryen, be welcome. Come and share the food of forever. We are the Undying of Karth. So she's seeing these kind of regal people, right? But it doesn't turn out to be regal people. They're in her mind in a way. The only thing I do want to point out before we talk about this, she took a step forward, but then Drogon leaped from her shoulder. He flew to the top of the ebony and weirwood door, perched there, and began to bite at the carved wood. So like, once again, we see an ebony and a weirwood door, black and white, the yin and the yang. Kind of interesting. What did you think the first time reading about these Undying, Teresa?
Well, as always, I have absolutely no idea. The only thing I can think of, though, when I think of something that's undying is, again, you're dealing with the spirit world. You're dealing with perhaps demons. Yeah, what is it? Oh gosh, I'm reading the wrong part here. But yeah, I understand it's really hard for me because I haven't read the rest of the books.
Oh, understand.
And so, I'm not entirely sure of the symbolism. I think
right.
Some of the symbolism might be a little clearer. But as a first-time reader, I'm thinking of, we're dealing with the supernatural. We're dealing with people coming back to life, though. Yeah, because one could argue that Daenerys is undying.
Right. Right. Yeah. What Stig? I mean, Stig definitely believes that, right, Stig?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if the House of the Undying is for, the Undying, maybe that's why the visions happen so well for Daenerys, because she is dead,
right?
Because of the, I think she's a fire. I think she's a fire white.
Right.
Yeah. Or she's undying because literally she did not die.
Right. That's true. That could be it too.
Sometimes the simplest one is the simplest one.
Well, one thing I found very interesting is, so you have a weirwood and an ebony door, which we find out there's a place in Bravos that has that. They're like opposites, but dual, like, because I think the shade of the evening tree is like the opposite of the weirwood tree. So it's not an ebony, but the color black and white. And when Dany hears, like, she's trying to like figure stuff out, she hears Mother of Dragons. Came a voice, part whisper and part moan. Dragons, dragons, dragons. Another voice echoed in the gloom. Some were male and some were female. One spoke with the is it Timbre? Timbre? Timbre, right? Of a child. And, like, one of you guys or somebody said, are these guys kind of, some people think there's maybe a connection with the children of the forest, and one spoke like a child. I don't know. Kind of thought that was something.
Yeah. No, there's weirwood there, though.
Yes, weirwood, definitely. Yes. And she stands up, I am Daenerys Stormborn. She does her whole thing. Queen of the Seven Kingdoms. They hear me. Why don't they move? She sat. So she's still seeing like the illusion, and then she's like, she is not breathing. Dany listened to the silence. None of them are breathing. Like she starts really seeing what the Undying are and what they really want from her. But then they give her the whole, we live, where is it? The shapes of shadows, morrow's not yet made. Drink from the cup of ice, drink from the cup of fire. Mother of dragon, child of three. 3 heads has the dragon, the ghost chorus said. Mother of dragons, child of storm. Three fires must you light. One for life, one for death, one for love. Okay, so this is kind of a little more involved, but what do you think when you see that, Stig? 3 heads of the dragon, 3 fires must be lit, one for life, one for death, and one for love. 3 mounts must you ride, one to bed, one to dread, one to love. 3 treasons you will know, one for blood, once for gold, and once for love. Daughter of death, slayer of lies, bride of fire. So has any of these come to pass, you believe?
Well, you know what? The second one to dread.
Yes.
Right? The other second one is for gold. I think they're linked because Euron means gold.
Oh, yeah.
The word Euron means gold, and he's one to dread.
Okay.
Big time.
Okay.
If there's anyone in the story to dread, it's him, right?
And the second one above that is for death. So that makes sense. 3 fires must you light, one for death, 3 mounts, one for dread, 3 treasons, one for gold. Now you could take that as actual gold, or you could take it as what his name means. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, so she's she's already slept with Euron, I think. Because I think Euron is Dario.
Right.
Or rather, she hasn't done that yet. Sorry. Well, she will.
She will.
Oh, yeah, no, it's okay. I've heard that theory, and it's all good.
Right.
And she slept with what's his name, Drogo. Yeah. And doesn't she sleep with another one?
No, at the moment. Well, she gets married, but I don't think she slept with that guy yet. So you got, 3 fires you must light, one for life, and that's Drogo. Even though he dies, it brings life. It brings the dragons. One for death could still even be Drogo, and one to love could be him too. Like, it's hard to figure those out.
Yeah, it's.
I I don't know. It's tough, right?
It could be all in one, really. But,
right.
I think the dread and the gold thing, I think that's Dario/Euron.
Okay. Now there is one part, and I can't find it, but there is in one of these visions, and I thought it was in here. She sees different color eyes, and it's like it gives you a list of the different color eyes, but maybe I'm wrong. So now we get the ones that just kind of shoot through us, right? We get the series dying, a tall lord with copper skin and a silver hair bearing the banner of a fiery stallion. Okay, so Teresa, did you know who that was when you read that?
Well, whenever I hear stallion, I keep thinking about Drogo and how her son was supposed to be like the dragon that rode the world or something.
Right.
Something with a stallion.
The stallion that rode the world. The stallion that mounts the world. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what. Yes.
Right. So this is a vision of what could have happened. You know.
Yeah.
You know, a Drogo looking copper skinned man, but with her hair. You know, and their fiery stallion. So yes.
Wouldn't that mean the Targaryen gene would be dominant?
Well, no, because the copper skin. Yeah. It's just the hair.
But then the white.
So
that would mean kind of the HBO race swap. Isn't that bad?
Right. Exactly. And that's what I keep trying to say. Every time we see a Targaryen with a skin tone, somebody else has a different skin tone, like a Dornish person, it usually is more prominent than the Targaryen side, but whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the Blackfire rebellions, the very first one, was because Daeron looked more Dornish than his half bastard or his bastard brother. You know what I mean? So like his bastard brother looked like a Targaryen. That's why people followed him. But next you have a dying prince with rubies flying from his armor, whispering the name of a woman with his last breath. So that's Rhaegar.
Yeah, the rubies are the diamond things that sprays from his armor.
Right. He takes a shot to the chest. The rubies come flying off. That's why they call it the Ruby Ford, I believe. And his last breath, a lot of people think it's Lyanna. You never know. It could be like Susie, that bitch.
It's probably Martha.
Martha, why did you say that? Blue-eyed king with a red sword in his hand who casts no shadow. Some people think that's Stannis. What do you think, Stannis Kenobi?
It's Jon Snow after he gets raised by Melisandre. And she gives him a burning sword.
The only reason I don't know. Blue-eyed, which Stannis already is. Red sword, which he has. Who casts no shadow. He gave away his shadow and his essence to her for the shadow babies. So I kind of thought of that.
Actually, it's probably Stannis, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it is. I could see. Yeah. See, I used to always think it was Jon too. But it's the shadow part. All right, so we got through that. Then we have a cloth dragon amidst a cheering crowd. Most likely that is somebody that comes out, you know? What were you saying?
It's Simps. Simping for Daenerys somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. Or
it
could
is.
Be in a way, you're right. You're right. It's somebody that wants to impress her. So I'll give you that. A great stone beast flying from a smoking tower breathing shadow fire.
That one I'm not sure.
That one either. I always thought Melisandre always said she could bring, dragons from the stone and on Dragonstone, but I don't know. Never knew what that one is. Anybody in the chat, what do you think number 6 is? A great stone beast flying from a smoking tower, breathing shadow fire. Time Prophet Sporking News. Now explain the Black Targaryen. Exactly. It wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. Tobo Mas, is there fire for death gonna be the burning of Josh Colleen? Oh, yeah. Maybe. Hold on. Let me read that one more time. 3 treasons. That wouldn't be treasons. That wouldn't be mounts. 3 fires must you light. 1 for death, 1 for life, 1 for love. Yeah, maybe. I mean, she needs to get rid of those old hags. We're getting there pretty much in the story. So I have no clue about the Great Stone. I don't know. Anything popped into your head, Teresa?
I'm so sorry. I just don't know.
I just don't want to. I don't want to leave you out. I kind of have a
no,
feeling.
No. And I understand and I appreciate it. Again, and I can say things I think it could be like what I said before about the Undying, but I'm just not as well versed. I mean, I feel like once I get caught up and read all 5 books, I'll kind of understand a little bit better. But no, it's cool. I mean,
and we will do that when you finish the books. When you catch up with us, we're going to go over this as just a show on its own. We've done this. I think this is the 3rd time we've gone over this, and every time it takes like an hour and a half, 2 hours. So
yeah,
we'll do it again. Number 7, her silver horse given to her by Drago at her wedding. Number 8, a corpse at the prow of a ship, eyes bright in his dead face, smiling sadly.
Okay, yeah, I can say something about this. Okay. I think that's the pirate guy, but he's not the pirate. You know how they made him the Jack Sparrow character who was awesome in the books, but not in the show. Okay. Didn't he do something weird like that with his ship?
Right.
Yeah. It could be what he does to his brother in book 6 that we've seen an excerpt from.
This is the part where this is one of those times again where I reread it and I always thought it was Euron, but the thing here is eyes. Euron would be wearing the patch, and if he wasn't wearing the patch, we would hear the difference in his eyes. You know, because one is like a death eye, one is not. They kind of do it.
Yeah, I think it's damn fair.
Yeah, it could be a corpse at the prow of the oh yeah, dude. Oh, totally. Smiling.
Yeah, because that's what it's gonna do to him in the thing we read from book 6.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Stick him on the prow of the ship.
Okay, that's perfect. A blue flower growing from a chink in the wall of ice. That is where they put Jon at the end of book 5. He is the blue chink or the blue chink. Oh my god, blue flower. Shadow dancing in a tent. That is when Mary Mazdul was in the tent, correct? And what? Because Ser Jorah.
Oh no. It could be a reference to Renly's death too.
Oh yeah.
He got killed in a tent.
Yep.
Oh yes.
And it was shadows. But I remember, isn't when Dany's being taken out with Ser Jorah from the tent where Mary Mazdul is. I know she actually uses the terminology dancing shadows, but yeah, dude, I didn't think of that. That could be it too. A little girl running towards a house with a red door. That's her.
Arya. Oh, yeah. It could be Arya.
Could be Arya, a little girl.
Yeah.
Because if it was Daenerys, she would recognize her, right?
Right. Greatstone. This is Marby Dog says Greatstone. This could be John. Oh shit, John Connington with Aegon because of what's going on with Connington. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. That's true. Miri Mazdur shrieking in the flames as a dragon bursts from her. A corpse being dragged behind a silver horse. So.
Now that's the guy who tried to poison her.
Oh.
He got dragged out behind the horse.
But
yes, he did.
Yeah, the difference though is. Okay, so number 7, silver is capitalized because that's the name of her horse. Number 13, it's a lowercase. The horse is silver. Now,
but he was paid silver to betray her.
Oh, that's true. I was thinking what happens in the city with that disease later on. You know, when Dany's in Marine, I think they call it the pale mare. You know, that's that disease. So I always assumed it was that, but I never thought about it being the silver paid to the guy. That's a good one too. I'm gonna have to look deeper into that one.
I don't know. It could be you're right.
Could be anything, really. We could both be wrong. We could both be right. You never know. A white lion running through grass taller than him. Is that Tyrion? Taller than a man, excuse me. A white lion running through grass taller than a man.
Well, it could be that missing Targaryen guy.
Oh, shoot.
Mm-hmm.
or not even the missing Targaryen. What about the missing Lannister?
Yeah, so sorry. Sorry,
okay, that's what I thought you meant.
Yeah.
I think it is
because Tyrion isn't taller than a man anyway.
Right.
It would specify a dwarf.
Right.
So I think it might be that missing Lannister.
Dude, that's a very good one. You're absolutely
and
right.
Tall grass could be the Dothraki Sea.
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
yeah.
That's where they find him. That's a good one, dude. I like that.
Maybe that's where he died. We don't know.
Yeah. Or that's where he's found, because don't forget Tyrion is, he might be with Dany, or at least with that crew, and you never know. A line of naked crones emerging from a lake, kneeling before Dany beneath the Mother of the Mountains. So that's the Dosh Khaleen, right? Or whatever they call it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's funny. When I thought about a bunch of ladies coming up from the lake and all that, I was thinking Monty Python. It's like, just some tots come out of a lake.
Fantastic. 10,000 slaves crying mother as Daenerys rides by on her silver. Now, again, this is lowercase, so you might have a point too. I think in the actual...
It's one of the white savior complex Daenerys scenes.
Right.
That they emphasized so strongly
right.
in every fucking episode on the show.
Right. Oh my God, that's absolutely right. And then what do we end with? That whole one where she's like being held up by all of them. At this point, the visions turn to a nightmare as the Undying try to consume Dany, and she is helpless to stop them until Drogon starts to tear the corrupted heart to pieces, fleeing from the burning house of the Undying. Pirate Pri attacks her with a dagger, but Drogon interrupts him long enough for Dany to hear Jogo's whip crack, and then she is in the arms of Ser Jorah. So all is good. Dany gets out of there.
And then Ser Jorah said, "Give me some sugar, baby."
Yeah, right. Come on, braid my back hair.
Oh, bro.
Right. Holy shoot! All right, what time is it? It is 9:00. Do you guys want to do the next chapter? Let's see how long it is. I think it's a short one. If not, we could just hold off till next week for Tyrion. I just want to.
I'm getting tired.
Yeah. Why don't we hold off for next week?
Yeah.
So I'll change the name of this one. But yeah, we'll hold off for next week. That was a lot of fun though, guys. Anything left with what we just went over? Now that Teresa, I know it was a lot of information, but hearing different things that we think it could be, and we've had how many years to think about it,
Yeah.
So,
and I just saw that news from a day ago, probably from the E3 thing. George Martin has been working on a video game, and it got a release date yesterday.
Oh my God.
He's been helping writing it.
Dude, he can't help himself. He just doesn't give a shit.
He needs to learn to say no.
Well, all I gotta say is that video that Nerdrotic did when he said people are trying to make George R.R. Martin their bitch by complaining, and then Nerdrotic said something to the effect of George R.R. Martin we're not gonna make George R.R. Martin our bitch, but he's definitely going to be J.R.R. Tolkien's bitch.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That
was one of the best lines ever. I was trying real hard to get it right. And that's all I've got to say about that.
Yeah, he was talking about who said this? It was the dude who did Sandman.
Neil Gaiman?
Yeah, Neil
Gaiman or whatever.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman. He's
turned into a real douche.
Yeah, dude. He said this a few years back, the whole thing about George being like, he doesn't owe you guys anything. All he does is owe you the book one book he creates at a time. It's supposed to be the best work he has, blah, blah, blah. But I'm sorry, dude. When you go into a trilogy and then change it on the fans and make it 5 books and then change it on the fans. And I recently heard him in an article, or not an article, in a video, George saying, talking about, this was last year, talking about the pandemic and working hard. And I am right now working on book 6, which should be the second to last book.
Yeah, and he also said, and this is from an interview, I think it's in 2016. He said he was going to completely focus on the books and he wasn't going to write anything else in between. And he specified no plays.
Right.
And then we see him, oh, yeah, I'm working on a play now.
Right. George R. R. Martin, A Song of Side Projects and Procrastinations. Yeah. That's awesome.
I'll tell you what, I'm starting to wonder if he's like a sociopath.
Yeah.
And I'm serious because he knows at this point, this man is not stupid.
No,
he is not stupid.
Right. He plays the victim card, George Martin. It pisses me off, Teresa, because I defend him. I still defend him. Real quick, though, Rev Kev, he has a great TikTok channel where he went from, never doing yoga to now being a yoga instructor at the age of 50. Like, the dude looks great, always has something spiritual and great to talk about. So please check out, if you haven't, his TikTok vid. I think he has a YouTube also, so check it out. Back to bitching though, as the spiritual guy is here. It bothers me because I have defended him against Gary. I've defended him against Doomcock. I've defended it like everybody, and I get it. Like it's almost like the joke that he's gonna finish the books. Jayne, me, and Stig saying, like, these are complicated books, which they are. But it's when you see he's doing side projects and he had a year of no interruptions.
And he even said when book 5 was released that he had 400 pages left over.
Right.
So he had a good start on book 6.
Real good start.
Yeah. And I've said before that I have no patience for those kind of arguments, even though I love y'all, because a writer doesn't sit around and make excuses. A writer sits and writes.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Period. And
to be fair, the TV show probably took away 4 or 5 years.
Doesn't matter. Fine. It took away 4 or 5 years. He quit it season 6, didn't he?
4.
Season 4. So he's had 6 fecking years. Let me this way. I don't care if he's George R.R. fecking Martin. If I were his boss, I would fire him. I really would. I wouldn't care how many millions I was throwing away, because it's unprofessional. It's immature. And fuck it, I would say, fine, we're just not finishing the book. Sorry, Rev Kev. I finally dropped one of my few precious F-bombs. But you know what I mean? I would fire his ass. And if he were to magically, for some reason, to call me up, say, Teresa, I would have worked with you, I would say, no, I don't think we're a good fit, because I like to work with people that get their job done.
Yeah, it's so tough.
I'm sure book 6 will be out eventually, but it's book 7 I'm worried about.
We're never gonna get book 7.
Yeah, I don't. And it's funny what Marby says here. We might, but I don't know if he'll be alive. But Marby Dog says, but he doesn't even touch Tolkien's level of mythos and lore.
Nope.
He kind of does.
He
but
does,
it
but
doesn't,
it doesn't
loose. Count. It doesn't count as long as it's not finished.
Right.
Precisely. That's what.
Right. And he wanted to do, what do you call it? The Grimoire. Oh God. What is Tolkien's big mythos, like Bible? It's the Silmarillion. He wants to do a Grimoire, like his own version, because he does have a rich lore, but he keeps it loose, and he keeps it, what I love about it, it's written in the third person, so there's you have to take politics into it and what that person was thinking at the time when they wrote that history book. Like, I love how George writes, but man, if he just, like, don't let me know that you're writing a video game, be a shadow writer. Like, I just don't care.
No, he's going to that what is it, Marvel convention or whatever, with Jimmy Kimmel and all kinds of SJW people. He's going to that too.
He is.
Yeah.
I mean,
and idiots to say that he doesn't owe us anything. You know what he owes us? He owes us a blanking book.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if he says, this is going to be 7 books, so right. I'm selling you this product, so right. Here's 5 books, here's supplement books and blah blah blah. Yep. Your customers have already invested in what you promised to sell them.
And don't forget,
they just haven't gotten the whole package yet. So for the people who paid money and invested hours and hours of time out of their lives to get into it, he owes them to finish it.
Yeah.
Because this is an unwritten contract between the seller,
right,
and
and the audience. And
I would almost argue it's a written one, and I'm going to start using the other F word. I think that he's very close to be committing fraud.
Well, this
and
is
I can defend that.
Yeah, well, and I'm going to let you. Let me just state this real quick. When people do that, like, oh, he never promised, he doesn't have to give you anything. Well, when he first started the books and told everyone it was a trilogy and got people locked into the books, and then he decided to change the number of books, that's when now he is liable. You know what I mean? Rev Kev, for me personally, I know other people would say unless he finishes them, I still think they're amazing books to read. It'll take you some time. Hopefully the next book will come out before you finish. There's a lot of lore. There's other novellas you can read. Like, I love the world of Westeros, and I will never take back me reading and enjoying it.
And there's it's 5 books, but there's at least 2 books between the lines too.
Yep.
And let me bring up another author,
please.
J.K. Rowling. She sealed the deal. She promised basically that we were going to get a book for each year of Harry Potter schooling, and she didn't do jack until she got it done. And I remember in the last one that we learned a lot that she would actually check herself into a hotel room, a big fancy hotel room, and didn't leave until it was done. And she delivered. Another example of a much lower caliber is Stephanie Meyer, that she delivered on her Twilight series.
Right.
Also, Robert Jordan.
Twilight delivers more than Game of Thrones. Isn't that pathetic?
Well, the Twilight books were written in 5 hours, though.
Right.
But she still finished it.
Yeah, but Robert Jordan, though, The Wheel of Time, that's 14 bricks, each of them as thick as the Game of Thrones books, and he dished out a book a year or every second year. Probably every second year, because they were big and they were vastly complex. Maybe not as fully complex as Game of Thrones, but it's up there, And he passed away from a blood disease, and he made sure someone finished it for him. And he was he had even written the final chapter himself.
Yeah, he worked like hell to get it done.
Yeah, and Brandon Sanderson, who finished it, he said he got he had, I think it was 6,000 pages he was given, or maybe it was 60,000. I can't tell. But it was a pile of notes left for him by the writer.
Yes.
Yep.
So all he had to do was just write it and finish it at the best way he could, and he did a good job. It wasn't perfect, but it was. You got a satisfactory ending.
Yeah. Right. He looked after his fans, even though he was dying. He finished the deal, and they
made sure that a fan finished it, because Brandon Sanderson was a huge fan. Robert Jordan was one of the reasons he started writing.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. And I'm going to also put my foot down and stomp and have a hissy fit, minor little temper tantrum. George R. Martin, you ain't that special.
Well, that's another thing. I'm glad you said that. Like, I don't know if it's arrogance, or is it like, because he's had a great career, but is this massive level of fame like he just wants to enjoy it at his age, like, or is it arrogance? I don't know.
It's gone to his head. And that's why I'm saying that was a silent temper tantrum. But it's hard for me to say that out loud, that he's not that special, because guess what? You're only as special as what you finish.
Right.
Oh, is the reference still in the chat? I was going to give a metaphor about finishing, but it's exactly the same concept. No one cares what you do in the middle. Is can you seal the deal? Right. And that includes you. You're not that special, George R. R. Martin, and he's acting arrogant, and I think this has gone to his head.
It could have.
And I could argue that maybe because it's all gone to his head, maybe that's why he can't finish it. Because everyone knows that the second you get arrogant, that's when your creativity goes.
Yeah.
I think he just got high on being famous.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you. I completely and utterly agree with you. Sucks. Oh,
I mean, the crap I would always catch my students doodling in their books at least had a story and got them finished.
Oh, man.
They would make comics, you know what I mean? Make little anime, but you know what I mean? The point is they could do it, and they were 8.
Yep. That's so true. Oh my God.
You have little girls, you probably know.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you. It's true. It's true. Oh my God. Like I am one of those people that defended the hell out of this guy. And I just can't do it anymore. I can't, I'm really disappointed if he doesn't finish the books. This isn't, like you said, a Robert Jordan thing. He's had the time, like, let's do it. Just finish the books, get them out, make them the best you can. And let's, then move on to whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah. And, but I just don't buy the whole blah, blah. He doesn't, blah, blah. I know that was very articulate. Yeah. He knows exactly what he's doing, because you don't write a book like Game of Thrones, like A Song of Ice and Fire, and not know how everything you put out in your stupid little not a blog is going to be
torn
received.
Apart, right?
Every word he does, it is sitting there poking at his fans, and that's shite. And we saw a good example over the weekend of Mangold Idiot. I almost said something really rude. Where they think, my fans, you know what you're here for? You're here for me to make fun of and to mock and to laugh and to shame you then if you don't keep worshiping me.
There you go. It's the truth. It's the truth. That's how they are. That's how they, it's like we've gotten to a point in this world where they believe their own BS, their own story, and like they're infallible. Like we can't disagree. We can't go against them. And I'm just done with it. I'm done. I just pray he finishes these damn books. Give me one book to read for the next few years. I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Heck, just split it. Give us half.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Just give us what you have. And you know what? If it's just too hard to write, a man that's been writing his whole life, well, then give it to somebody else. You know what? I think there's about 1,000 fans out there that could probably write a good book. Well, then because it's better than nothing.
Right.
You know what, George R.R. Martin? There is a God, in my humble opinion, and you are not he.
No.
Boom.
No. That's it right there.
If Rev Kev can check my theology was sound on that.
Yeah.
It's in John chapter 2. George R.R. Martin, there is a God, and you are not he.
Yeah, right. Oh man, that's awesome. Let's wrap it up though. George, just finish the book, please. There's a couple shout outs I want to give. So Yeti Cast, great dude who, oh my God, I have to subscribe to him again. I hate YouTube.
Oh,
I got unsubscribed to Nina the other day, which was weird because I just watched one of her streams like 2 days before.
Yeah. It's nuts.
I've been I got unfollowed I unfollowed a whole bunch of people that I didn't unfollow. So I had to go back and check because probably half my Twitter followers are like, what did I do? And it's like, you didn't do anything. I'm not mad at you.
Right.
You know what happened to me though? I had gotten unfollowed by someone. No, sorry. My account had unfollowed someone else. Mm-hmm. And when I was tagging the person, the tag thing comes up, the suggestion, and it says following, even though my account wasn't following that person.
Yeah, there's somebody that we're close with that all of a sudden today I could not link them on anything, so I don't know what happened, and it's usually something stupid. So we'll have to.
It's Twitter doing it though.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I had a proper Justin messaged me and said he had gotten unfollowed. That he had unfollowed me, but he didn't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't know what happened.
Right.
So it's happening to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So,
And then you get those little messages. You do get them. It's like, hey, it's okay if you wanted to unfollow me, but could you let me know what I did?
Yeah,
I'm sitting there thinking,
Right.
you didn't do anything. I'm unfollowed from you, and then sure enough, I am.
Oh yeah, I've had people get pissed at me.
Yeah.
Or even people I didn't even know.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I just followed back or something at some
right.
point, and then get a DM. Getting scolded for having unfollowed them, and one said, "Oh, it's because I don't have a big enough YouTube channel." I'm like, I didn't even know you had a channel.
Yeah, you got it. Well, that's the thing too. It's like I always feel bad, but they're like you just said. It could be somebody I watch all the time, and all of a sudden I stop getting recommendations for them, and I don't even realize why. And then all of a sudden you realize, oh, it's because I'm not part of it. I'm no longer sub to them. I think that
I had one guy message me. He had I have no clue who it was, but he had tagged me in some Star Wars artwork, and I woke up, to notifications or check Twitter, and I saw the tag in this, and I figured, I'll check it later.
Right.
2 hours later, though, I get an angry thing in my inbox. Basically telling me to fuck off because I hadn't even clicked like on the thing I was tagged in.
And you're like, dude, I was asleep. I'm on the other side of the world.
I have no clue who this person was.
People are nuts.
So the moral of the story, friends and neighbors, is before you lose your crap and go medieval on people, just double check.
Absolutely.
And then
just
ask. And then even if they did want to unfollow you,
right,
don't go medieval. It's just Twitter, for the love of everything.
Yeah, it's not real life, guys. There's so many more important things out there.
Yeah, it's not like you've been written out of the will.
Exactly. You know what? And within a few weeks, everything changes and the winds blow, and we're gonna finish this bad boy up. So, Teresa, what are you working on now, and where can they find you?
Well, I am currently working on the return of #Teresa Travels. It is going to be starting up again after 2 years of being on pause because of these Egypt made up Corona stuff, or 18 months rather.
Oh, so, yes. That's her own views. That is not the views of this channel.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Please do not cancel Sporking. Yeah, I'm not monetized, so I'll just say all that on my channel.
Right.
But no, it is stupid. It is incredibly stupid. But I am going to be traveling again, and so be on the lookout for some traveling videos. I also continue work on my chronicles of the kitty cats who are always plotting to kill me in Babylon 5.
Yeah.
They are.
Okay.
It's a fact.
Okay, they're trying to. Okay, I'm with you then. I'm so confused, but I'm with you. What was I going to agree with you? Oh, what I was going to ask you is, where's your first travel?
Oh, well, my first travel is going to be Florida.
Land of the free, home of the brave.
Yeah, that and my state, we're the 2 free states in the country. Come live with us.
Yeah, I wish I could.
I'll pay for your air conditioning if it's too hot for you, okay?
Oh, I definitely would need that.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Teresa. Stig, you want to throw anything out there?
No. Well, coffee chat on Alora's channel on Thursdays.
Yes, definitely.
That's pretty much that one, and this is pretty much the only constant I do on YouTube now, other than pop on randomly if people want me to and I'm awake and have time.
Right. Well, don't worry, guys. I just want everybody to know things are going back to normal. They are gender and race swapping the reboot for Perfect Strangers. So we'll probably be going over that.
They race swapped one of the He-Man characters too. Nobody seems to have picked up on that.
No, we did. We talked about it last night or Saturday night. We talked about that, and we talked about the masculine look of Teela. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It was what's her name? They made black. You're the one who sent me the
Andra.
Yeah, you sent me the cartoon.
She's a very minor character though. But
right.
Yeah, she was a blonde white chick with a gun.
Right. It's so stupid.
Kind of like a lieutenant. Yeah, she was a lieutenant.
Right.
In the army, and she's now black.
Right.
Black and buff and female.
Yes, definitely not as buff as Teela though. But I like to make sure I thank the chat guys. You guys are amazing. Definitely want to give a shout out to Tina for doing an awesome job with the, moderating of my chat. I really appreciate it. I also want to give a shout out to my Oberyn Martell level. We did have a all current level type thing Saturday before the dump this past Saturday, and we'll probably have one this next Saturday before also. So Oberyn Martell level are Valliant Renegade, who is an awesome dude, Larry, and Culture Casino, and Lady Tauriel, who's amazing. My little finger, which is my highest level, is Tina Bojan, Toxic Manflu of Dick's Division, who rocks, Jake, or like I like to call him, Jack D, and who knew? The Salt, I can never read his whole name. The Salt something. I really appreciate you guys. To everybody else, thank you, Tobomas, Jacob, Shane, Rev Kev, everybody who made an appearance, Marby Dog, the Time Prophet. And I'm missing you guys. It doesn't mean I miss you in my heart. So take care, everybody. Put a spork in it. We are done.
Goodbye.
Have a good night.
Don't forget to follow the link to YetiCast and then go check out the ladies on Midnight's Edge. Good night.